All right, we are back with another Unlucky Uncensored. I wasn't sure. Let's see what this different light here looks like. How's that look to you guys? A little weird? Feels a little weird to me. Let's change it. Let's go right here. Uh, no, we're not back. Okay. Now we're back. Now the audio really kicked in. Wasn't sure what you was listening to before, but this is what we're listening to now. I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this as the Unlucky Uncensored or the other one that I do, and I guess it only really matters to me, but I decided to put it under the Unlucky Uncensored just because what I'm going to say, while it might deal with mental health, it's my opinion on mental health. And I don't want people to think that this is the right thing, and not necessarily that I'm speaking facts over on my other one. But here on this one, I try to establish that I can speak more freely. So that's what I'm going to do. Before I start saying things about the grieving process, because by now you know through the title that's what this video is about, I have to preface it. How do you say that word? I have to tell you the story beforehand so you know what's going on. If you don't, I lost my mother in September. She had COVID, which then developed into pneumonia, and the pneumonia shut down her lungs. She couldn't breathe. And I had to ultimately make the decision as to whether to pull the plug or not. And I'm going to go more depth into the whole thing here. I made an episode talking about it, but now having some more time removed from it, and I might make another one in 6 months or a year. I don't know, because that's the main thing I want to get across in this video, is that the grieving process doesn't just stop. Like, hold on, let me look up here exactly what it says the grieving process is, because I'm not 100% sure, but everybody knows the last part is acceptance. Grieving process right there. Okay, 5 stages of grief. Let's go there. That looks like a credible site. And okay, they're going to list them out all along like that. I just need a short list. Let's see if this does it. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Now, I bring that up saying acceptance is the last one. Let's talk about that first, because while I was there in the hospital room making the decision to pull the plug and seeing her pass away, I had accepted it in that moment. Like, you can't see it happen and not really accept it, you know? Now, some therapists might be disagreeing with everything that I'm saying, but I'm just speaking from my personal experiences dealing with this. So denial, it wasn't so much me denying that she had happened. It was me denying that, basically, that this life was real, like what was happening was real. And that didn't last very long. That was like me just, when I would be in the depressed state, I would be saying things like, this isn't happening, this isn't real life, and things like that. Anger and bargaining, I'm not sure if I was angry, yeah, but I didn't know who to be angry at. I might have been angrier towards my family for that time, but I'm not aware of that fact. If I am, the biggest thing I felt was just a depression. But just the word acceptance kind of throws me off because acceptance, when you accept something, to me, it kind of seems final. Like you have been accepted to college, like you are going to this college, you've applied, you've been accepted. I don't know. That's just how my brain thinks of it, and I don't necessarily believe it's like that. If you if you have a loved one who has lost someone close to you, I'm sure you would agree that it's not like one day you magically wake up and you're like, huh, I'm okay with that now. No, it still sucks and it's still hard to go through every day. Like some days I have a bad morning. I wake up and I'm crying and I'm taking a shower and I think about something dumb my mom yelled at me when I was in the shower or something and I start crying. It's just not something that just ends. And I know, especially for Kelly, it has been hard for her to know how to comfort me. And in those moments, we have, after communication, worked out what does help the best. And I am very outwards with my emotions. And um, if I feel something, I will say it. I won't bottle it up as much. So in those moments, that is helpful when I'm sad and things because I can tell her what's wrong. And normally just saying it helps me feel a lot better because I can hear either how stupid it sounds coming out of my mouth or whatever. Um, but I don't know. There's just some validity in saying things. And I have found what helps me when I do start thinking of my mom is to write her a note or just to simply talk to her. Talk to her like she's sitting right beside me, and I'll just tell her what's going on, tell her why I'm sad, whatever. Because we had a very close relationship, um, a very strained relationship for sure, but we were very close. She was the person that I would call first normally if I had a problem. And at one point in my life, it wasn't. It was my friends. At some point, the first person that you talk to whenever there's a problem is going to be your friends. But she was the person that I would call every single time there was something wrong. And it's just hard not having that, you know? Even still, when good things happen in my life, the first thing I think of is I wish I could text my mom or I wish I could call her. At first, the first month or so, if something good would happen, like when my son was born, I was like, oh, I will text her real fast because, you kind of forget. But yeah, it's hard, especially when you have family members who are shit. And family members that are only family now at this point because they were family at one point. And I don't want to say any names or bring up too much of the situation because I don't know how much of it I'm legally able to bring up. But let's just say someone in my life, we had a bunch of my mom's things put somewhere and someone stole some of them things. And we have no idea how much of it she stole. I said she, so that's kind of incriminating now. But I don't care. I can leave that much in. You can't figure it out from there if you don't know my life. Um, and yeah, when somebody does something like that, it makes a hard situation even harder. And I am really making this whole episode talking about this very uncomfortable thing for me to talk about because I don't want my kids to be afraid of their mental health. I am tired of seeing people I love around me hurting their mental health or ignoring it through drugs and abuse. And while I'm not perfect, I'll admit it, I'm not, but I'm working every day to be a better person for my children. And not every person in this world has that motivation. I understand some people don't find kids as motivation, whatever. But find your passion, find your motivation, and work towards being a better person. Because it's hard out there. It is. It's hard waking up every day without a purpose, thinking, what the fuck am I going to do? Go work at my bullshit job for 8 hours and go home and do some drinking until I pass out and wake up the next day and do the same thing. Those days are very hard. And now I can honestly say, with my content creating and the raising of my children, I feel a lot more fulfilled. So find your fulfillment. And I just didn't want to end that on a sour note, because talking about the grieving process can be very sad. And I don't want to make these drawn out things where I'm overanalyzing every situation. I just want to sit down and speak my piece. And I spoke my piece about that. And I've just about spoke my piece about mental health, because it doesn't take me very many words to say it's important. Mental health is important. Our brains are the strongest things in our lives. You might think, though the heart's more important, but guess what keeps the heart pumping? Your fucking brain. It does everything. So just be nice to it. If you want to smoke a little weed, fuck it. That's not really hurting nothing. But just be nice to your brain, and it'll probably be more nice to you. And that's really all I have this time. I forgot how I ended these uncensored versions, because it's normally a lot more aggressive than this. So I'm just going to end it like this. Have a nice day.